Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles just wrapped up their year-end press conferences as they are off and running in the off season. I got 5 big takeaways from that here on today's show. We're trying to get to 156,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're just over 500 away. If you want free and daily coverage throughout the offseason on your Chicago Bears, we are the channel for you. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm Harrison Graham. Ben Johnson made one thing very clear. The Bears are back to square one, and that's not because they didn't have a good season. It's the reality of life in the NFL. He said there is no building off of this. Sure, there's like things you can continue to grow in, like Caleb Williams can continue to grow as a player, and they can grow in their identity and things like that, but you don't carry over one season to the next, is kind of the message of what he's trying to say. In other words, hey, just because we were good this year does not guarantee we will be good next year if we don't start over the process. And obviously that starts with everything that happens this offseason, player acquisitions, then you get into OTAs and all that stuff. Everyone's back at the bottom. Everybody starts 0-0. That's kind of the beauty, but also the challenge of life in the NFL. Both Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson mentioned that big decisions are coming this offseason when it comes to the roster. You guys know what a lot of those are. Which free agents do they bring back? Who do they target? Do they go make a big swing via trade? What happens with a guy like DJ Moore? We'll talk about him later on. One thing that they did, at least Ryan Poles did say, he said, I don't have a problem saying this out loud, is that they would like to bring Kevin Byard back, which I don't think is a secret. Byard told CBS that there's mutual interest between the parties. Poles did kind of add a caveat that, all 4 of their safeties are free agents. So, there's no guarantee. They have to see how it all plays out. I do think this was confirmation, though, of like between Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, if they're going to prioritize one, it's going to be Kevin Byard, which I think we all kind of knew anyway. Okay, number 2, Ben Johnson. Not that there was any doubt about this, but he is all in on his quarterback, Caleb Williams. As the first thing he said he told him was, get away from football a little bit. It's been cool to see him at the Blackhawks and Bulls games the last couple of nights. But Ben said this, quote, I'm Caleb Williams' #1 believer. He's going to be a special player in this league. And, we heard from Caleb Sunday night after the game and obviously on Monday as well. Really good year. Made a lot of strides. There's still some inconsistencies. I think that first line in this stat graphic obviously stands out in terms of what the next steps are. But really good season. Grew a lot as a player, grew a lot as a leader. Really felt more comfortable in this offense, which were all things that have been echoed today. And Caleb said it himself the other day, the offseason focus, accuracy, and footwork. And those two things kind of tie together. When the footwork, when the base, when it's all working well, you're going to be more accurate with the football. So excited to see what year 3 looks like. To Ben's point, if he does continue to make the improvements that he made this year, he will be a special player in this league for a long time. And I think there's a world where he's a top 5 quarterback next year. If he does all the things he's already doing from a big play standpoint and just tightens up the screws, and he's a 63 to 66% completion guy, and he continues to make special plays in big moments, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's already one of the better quarterbacks in the league, I would say. But that next step is just being more consistent of a player overall, and I think there's a good chance that all comes together next year. What is your confidence level in QB1 moving forward? Scale of 1 to 10. I'm very confident. I'm in the 9s. I think he's going to be really good. I think he'll take another step next year. First full offseason in the same offense in the NFL, I think will really help as well. So that'll be a very good thing. Plus, most of the offensive pieces are in place. All right, some injury updates. Ryan Poles sharing a lot of injury news at the presser today. Ozzie Trapillo, obviously one we've wanted to hear confirmation on. He did have surgery on his torn patellar tendon, and there's no specific timetable. Ryan Poles also even threw out a phrase like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said it could go deep into next year. So it feels pretty likely that he's not going to be ready to start the year. The question is, if and when will he come back in 2026? And Poles himself said it was a bummer because he was really coming along, which I think we all could see and feel as he was getting more comfortable at that left tackle position. I think it's safe to say they're going to have to bring in some options at left tackle. I think Theo Benedict will certainly be back. We'll talk about Karan Amagaji in a second. Maybe he's an option to compete for that spot once again. I doubt Braxton Jones is back, but maybe some kind of free agent of that ilk, a swing tackle type. Just, I saw a name circulating online, a Cam Robinson type. Maybe that's a type of player you bring in, but I do think they'll have to bring in somebody this offseason to help hold down the fort at left tackle until Ozzie is healthy. All right, more injury updates to discuss coming up here in just a moment, but today's show is sponsored by Ethos. When you bring a child into the world like I have, your perspective changes overnight. That was certainly true for my wife and I when we had our son a few years ago, and for me, part of loving my family meant thinking about their future even in the uncomfortable ways. Life insurance is not a fun topic, but it's one you need to think about, and I'm glad I found out about Ethos. I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happened to me, there are real consequences like mortgage payments, tuition, everyday bills. They don't just disappear, even if I were to pass. Thinking about that used to feel overwhelming, but taking steps to protect my family financially changed all of that. That's why I got life insurance through Ethos. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. They have no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. As of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now. Go to ethos.com/NFL daily. In as little as 10 minutes, you'll get a free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/NFL daily. That is ethos.com/NFL daily. Ethos.com/NFL daily. Application times and rates may vary. All right, some other injury updates, just kind of all tweeted here by Chris Emma. Noah Sewell also had surgery on his torn Achilles. Unclear if he'll be ready for training camp as that happened late in the season. Poles did mention that Shamar Turner, Dio Odengbo, Terrell Smith, Say Frazier, and Karan Amagaji have been rehabbing and have been doing well. Jalen Johnson suffered a minor wrist injury against the Rams in that final game, but no procedure needed. Obviously, it's a big offseason for him to get healthy and to hopefully stay healthy next year. And then Jordan McFadden was fighting through an ankle injury in that last game, which really impressive because I thought he played well on short notice to step in there and do what he did at left guard. So we definitely want to give him props for that. As far as Zay Frazier goes, obviously 5th-round pick from a year ago and was on NFI and still kind of unclear what's happening. I think it was, without over speculation, I think it was a non-injury medical situation is where I'll leave it. Poles was, kind of blunt in the situation, like, hey, he's back, he's healthy, but he said he's facing an uphill battle and he'll have to earn a roster spot. I think that's absolutely true. I do think there will be opportunities because I'm guessing Deshaun Wright will sign elsewhere. Tyreek Stevenson's in the final year of his deal. Terrell Smith is coming off a torn ACL. Jalen Jones is a free agent. Nick McLeod's a free agent. So he'll have opportunities, but it's not going to be one of those, well, since we drafted him last year, he's guaranteed to make this team. I don't think that'll be the case. He'll have to earn a roster spot. Okay, DJ Moore, obviously a polarizing player and topic among the fan base right now. Both Ryan and Ben talked about him today. Here's what Ryan Poles had to say, because he was kind of asked, hey, his numbers have been down compared to before. What's his status on the team now and moving forward? He said he didn't care about stats. All he cared about was winning. In terms of the roster, we have a ton of roster decisions to make. His toughness rubbed off on our team. If they were dinged up, talking about other players, they almost had to play because he was playing. And that's one thing that is absolutely true. DJ's been banged up a lot, and he has played through stuff, so he gets a lot of credit for that. He's been a good player. Ben said he was a huge contributor. I thought that was an interesting word. Said they had a good exit interview. When he was asked about why he didn't talk to the media, he said you'd have to ask him. I had a good exit interview with him. So still unclear about what that was about, especially since DJ has pretty consistently talked to the media in his time here. Look, I think a couple things can be true at once. I do think the Bears like DJ Moore. They like his toughness. They like some of the things he brings to the table on the field. He's obviously a good player. But trading him is very much on the table, and they're smart enough. Ben Johnson was asked about the final play, and he said, look, anything that happened there, miscommunication, like that's on me. I've got to be better. He's not going to bury DJ publicly. He's not going to bury Caleb publicly. He's going to leave that where it is, and that's probably what he should do. But let's be honest, also, you can't bury any player that you're thinking about trading publicly. You don't want to pull a Buffalo Bills and basically call Keon Coleman a bum and then try to trade him. Like, they're going to say all the right things about DJ Moore. A, because I do think they like him overall. But B, if they don't, it doesn't help their cause at all if they're trying to trade him this offseason. So I think a trade is still very much on the table, and I think it's very much a realistic possibility. Should the Bears trade DJ Moore? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think the answer is probably yes. You clear the money. Luther and Rome's roles increase. You could restructure him. That's also an option. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't think you keep him on a $28 million cap hit. Regardless of how it plays out, I think that number will change whether he's on the team or off the team in 2026. And then lastly, Ben and Ryan were both very, very vocal and thankful to Bears fans. And they should be, because this fan base has been starving for success. They've been loyal throughout the miserable seasons, and the fans showed out. And Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson both pointed out how special Soldier Field was down the stretch of the season. They both said those playoff atmospheres were games they will never forget and that they can't wait for those next opportunities. And you guys deserve a consistent winner. Bears fans deserve a consistent winner because it's a loyal fan base. The city this year, this team ignited this city. So imagine if this could be a consistent winner, what it could be like. So I want to send a kudos to you guys as well, especially you longtime fans that have suffered for years and years and years. We launched this show in 2020, and it's been rough. But this year was magical, and we don't want this to be a 2018 situation where it was awesome for 1 year and then it kind of went back to being not so good. So that's the challenge ahead. That's why I like Ben's messaging of, hey, we're back at square one. We got to start all over again, and the journey starts now. So can't wait to see what this organization does, what roster decisions they make, and we just got to hope and believe and trust that they're going to make the right decisions. All right, there you have it, my reaction to today's press conferences. There's other little nuggets in there too that I might touch on in future episodes, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be back for another video later today, so lock us in for that. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.